You know, it's been very exciting. And I think that's one thing when you come into a program as a new coach, that adrenaline rush you get as far as starting a new program. It's been very exciting for me. Through the course of this year, getting a family moved up here, fielding a team, it's been an awful lot of work, but it's also been very rewarding. You know, to come every day and go into the office and have the green and white on has been just a thrill for me and a thrill for our staff. I think of all the recruiting I've done and everything I've done so far here, hiring Billy Hill is the best decision I've made. Not only do we have, again, a person that has local connections to Northern Michigan University as far as the community, but his ability and the passion that he has for this game and for this school has just been transparent in everything that he's done here for me and for our program. And it's just been so rewarding and also just an exciting thing where every day in the office, you know, he's there completely and 100% for Northern Michigan. That's been an experience that again, going into the job, I didn't know what really to expect. We ended up deciding, and I actually decided to really just do a complete 180-degree turn. So we have 3 returning players from last year's team: Spencer Huss, Mike Smith, and Terry Nash. That meant we had to go on the road and recruit, and again, in the beginning it was just me, so that's the good news and the bad news. The recruits that we have are on my shoulders. I can't blame an assistant for who got brought in, but we brought in 12 new guys and really started recruiting about right around June the 1st. So a lot of these young men were in a situation where they didn't exactly have a tremendous opportunity, and we gave them that opportunity here at Northern Michigan University. And so I'm very excited about the product that we're going to be able to put on the floor. The style I've always wanted to play, and we've always been in the 21 years I've been in college basketball, a team that's going to play tenacious defense, strictly man-to-man, with some zone mixed in. And a team on the offensive end that really wants to try to push the basketball up the floor. And learn how to really play together as a team. I'm not a big fan of one-on-one basketball, really using yourself as a player to make those around you better. As we've gone through these first 15 days of practice or so, we've tried to incorporate some of those things. I've been pleasantly surprised to see the progress that a number of our team and members of our team have made. But again, it's a daily process, and I think that's the one thing our team has to understand. You know, we're not going to get to the pinnacle of where we want to be until we really focus on doing the little things right. Well, it's funny you say 5'10", because really it's about 5'6" with a couple of our players. You know, I never get caught up on height, size. Obviously, you need to have that. That's beneficial. I'm way more into, you know, what can you do and how big can you play when you're on the floor. What are going to be the avenues for you to be successful in this conference, which is an incredibly tough basketball conference. And so when we look at our personnel, again, it's nice to have some size. I'm happy that through this whole thing we were able to bring some guys in with some height. But you know, now how is that going to transfer to play? Well, I think the first thing we had to look at is who can we really, you know, put in the mix and be able to help us. This is the interesting thing, starting new and starting with so many new faces. Majority of our team has never even seen another GLIAC gym, has never been on the road for a GLIAC game. Much less, we don't really have, you know, 12 new guys that have never even been in the Barry Event Center to actually dribble a basketball when there's a basketball court there. So I think it's important for us to at least look a little bit to the returners that are here, Mike Smith, Spencer Huss, and Terry Nash, to at least have an understanding of what it has to take and what has to happen. Leadership is an incredible thing, and it's just not given to someone. They have to earn that responsibility. And still yet today, we are really looking to see who are the guys that are our hardest workers, who really can believe in the system that we're trying to incorporate here, and then have them really take over the reins as far as being leaders. And I think that's a process that we're still underway this early in the season. Okay. Well, in our freshman class, I think we have 2 or 3 guys that have really stepped up and done some good things. Marcus Hall from East Grand Rapids has really, I think, has the ability to be a very, very good player in this league. Really learning how to defend, how to do things right. Ethan Blackwell is another young man who's a sophomore, but again, has some college experience. And then actually Darrell Foster, I've been very happy with. And, you know, there was one player, Brett Brandstrom, who was actually up here from the Upper Peninsula, who was just playing incredibly well in the preseason. Did have a knee injury, but looks like he's going to be back on the floor in about a week or so. So from that younger class, I see some good growth there. You know, we have some juniors that are transferring in. Justin Newell from Milwaukee. Has been outstanding on the offensive end, has to really conceptualize what has to happen on the defensive side of things. And, you know, there's a hope that we can get Alex Mustard out there for us and, from Grand Rapids Community College and Grand Rapids locally and really help us, a nice big-sized player in the interior. We've talked a lot about that as a team, and I think there's a few that, can you call them goals or objectives, that they're kind of in the same plate. You know, not really measurable, but you know, can we get to the point where we get better every day? It's somewhat measurable, but again, that's the growth we have to see. Can we have and become a family in the locker room and on the court? And I think that's the one thing I've been most impressed with. This is just a totally new group of guys who did not know each other 6 months ago. No connection whatsoever. And that bond that they've created already in that locker room and on the floor and together when they're on campus has been outstanding. We've talked a measurable goal about, you know, can we really rise to the occasion? You know, can we have a chance to be playing our best basketball down the stretch? You know, can you get one of those coveted 8 spots at the end so you can make the GLIAC tournament? You know, if you don't put that goal out there for your team, then you're doing a disservice to your team as well. And I truly believe if we go out and do the couple of things we just talked about as far as objectives, we have a tremendous chance to make that goal of being one of those 8 teams remaining when the GLIAC tournament starts. Well, first off, I think this year I want to be able to see at least, you know, 6, 7 players that we can say, okay, these pieces are essential for us going forward. And, you know, along with that, my goodness, you got to make sure that you're doing a great job in the recruiting front and bringing in players that, again, are great fits here for Northern Michigan University. I've said a number of times, I would not have taken this job coming from Ferris State if I didn't believe that in time we were capable of contending for GLIAC championships and being able to get into the NCAA tournament. And in the 6 months that I've been here, a lot of those things certainly ring true. Recruiting has been incredible. You know, we've hit the ground running, but have really had positive responses there. And again, for what Northern Michigan has to offer from an athletic and an educational situation, there's no reason as we move forward that we will not be back at the top of the conference.